Yeah.
Neither of us have done our hair, have we? Right, Bill, I think we are live, mate. I'll give it a couple of seconds. I'm going to share a link over on Twitter, just in case anyone's interested, but it will be saved on the channel anyway. And then if anyone wants to catch up after and see our thoughts, they can.
I'm sure we'll have a load of people. Oh, so we found the answer, should I?
Right.
I'm looking forward to Sunday, talking about it.
Yeah, mate, it's going to be good, isn't it? Because it was like torrential rain down here and ice and stuff on the car. I was just thinking, fuck, please don't be off. But fingers crossed it will be all good for the dogs, won't we reckon?
You did worry me when you sent that text last night, I must admit.
Right. We are live. It is working. Bill's got lots of phone calls in the background, but it is what it is. There's 4 people watching it. So if we all pick a trap in the first race, Bill, we'll definitely get the winner. Although we don't need that many people. 5-dog race in the first, right? So it's a pretty decent card considering it's the awards night thing down in Brighton. Probably expecting there to be fewer entries, but we maybe don't start off with the best race, but there is some good dogs that are coming out. Scotty Burgess in the comments. You can let us know what you fancy in every single race anyway. So Bill, first race, right? 712 meters. It's a lot of people that watch this probably won't understand the distances of dogs. Maybe I know there's lots of people that do know. Lots of people do know about like dog stuff. But 712 meters, right, at Towcester. It's 500 meters is the standard distance, isn't it? 712 is a pretty good distance 6-bend race, right?
Yeah, they start off from the sprint boxes, 2 laps round, or should I say half a lap round, then a full lap round. They don't have many of them. They don't have many of them graded wise. Hence why this one's a maiden. And for the first race, the couple of them, or there's only one of them that's been over the trip, or should I say, 2 of them have raced over the trip. But they're sort of A4, which is obviously the standard 500 meters runners. This race here, I reckon you can run this race 5 times and get 5 different winners. This is very competitive, very competitive. Probably track 2 a bit of favourite for Reggie Alder, Silver Hall, Hank. First time over the distance, does run over the 500. It is pretty a strong sort of dog over the 500. When you think of it, 500 to 7112, right, it's only an extra 212 meters. But by the time where the finishing line is to where the pickup is, that's another 125 meters anyway. So they're not really travelling that much more than what they already do. That phone's going to wind me up if that keeps ringing. So yeah, no, I think I actually think 2 will be favourite, and I think 2 will win the first race here. Like I said, it is a very competitive race. Only 2 of them have been over the trip before, track 3 and track 4. 4 went over it last week. Sherry's Dream for Heather Dimmock was behind a very good winner in 4 Penny Blue. But you know, I think the favourite backers will be off to a good start here with track 2 Silver Hill Hank.
Nice. And where you've touched on it there, right? And obviously, it ain't going to really necessarily help us with the form, but why it's important sometimes to be watching the races and get to the dog track, right? Because like you're saying there, 500 meters to where the pickup is. If you watch these dogs in a graded race over 4 bends, but you see who ends up closest at the pickup, you basically know who would win over 7 bends before they run over it, wouldn't there?
Yeah, a lot of the comments on most tracks, obviously I'm not going to flag off Towcester with the racing office because some of them might actually be watching it, but some of the comments at some of the other tracks, they just don't make sense. You'd get a comment for 7-1-12 that might just say quick away, or you might get it to say middle, and you think to yourself, hold on a minute, it's run 712 metres, and all you've put is quick away. Where at least if you actually see the dogs with your own eyes, see it, on videos, at least that way you've seen the race before, where if you're going to the track, it's perfect because obviously, like I said, you've seen it live. Where if you don't see it live and you just see a comment that says middle, you've got no idea where the dog's going to run.
Definitely. Well, it's decent betting mediums at Towcester I always find. We'll keep an eye on the exchanges and see what gets smashed up. But yeah, when I'd whittled this one down, wasn't one I was going to get too far stuck into, but I pinned myself down on Silver Hill Hank too. And he's been
this rate, there could be 10 lengths between first and last year. There could be half a length between others. Like I said, track 1, 2, and 5 are not run over the distance before. So that could tell you that they could go and win 12 lengths and really stay, or they could be tailed off at the back of the TV screen. But
yep. And one might get a bit of a solo on the inside, mightn't he? But I don't know if he's quick enough on paper. But yeah, two will be favourite when it. But again, everything's price perspective, right? If this one was, I don't know, if this was like a 2-to-1 favourite or something, I'd be tempted to back it. If it's short,
anything over 2-to-1, I think I think it'd be played. Anything over under 2-1, I'd rather just let it win.
Absolutely, and there is as much as it's not an all open card, Bill. There is some good racing that comes up after it, right? Second race, back to the 500 meters. I say back to, we started off at 6 bends, didn't we? But bit of a better race as far as I'm concerned. It's a bit easier to look at as well, right? We've got lots of dogs that have run over the distance, even if it has been a while ago. We've got lots of dogs that do run in open races as well. So even if they've been running at other tracks, you get a bit of a feel for it, don't you? With the prices that dogs are going off at. This Bet Shop Boy, I'll just mention that one first because of the fact that he's been odds on loads of times recently, but running at Suffolk Downs. When he did run at Towcester, it was a long time ago, wasn't it? 29.92 wouldn't be good enough to win this, would it? Seems like he wants that bit further. What do you make of him? Because Druids all go in 3. He's like kennel mate. Looks like he's an absolute banker, doesn't he?
He does. On the tissue that I done earlier on, I made him 4-11, if anything, 3 on. It was very impressive winner, 2-7, then 29.38 back on the 18th of February. And then last week, 29.22, quick away, rails, always led. And I think you're doing exactly the same here. The sectional we done last week was 4.23. If you look at track 2, it's got 4.34 sectional. So it could be a length and a half up in front of that. Patrick's dogs are absolutely flying at the minute. He had 5 winners last Sunday. And I think he had 6 winners or 4 winners. Sorry, I think he had 4 winners last week. And before that, he had 5 winners the week before. His dogs are flying at the moment. He won a final at Suffolk Downs last night. He actually had a 1-2 in the race. But I think Drills will go here. Like I said, at 4-11, you expect it to win. And I think it'd just be named the distance. For a forecast, I'd probably stick up Dapper Larry. Nice staying on dog with for John Mullings. I just think it could turn quite handy here and run down. Drills will go. But at 4-11, I expect the favourite to smash out a Makel and win.
Nice. See, I was looking at it and just thinking he's got those couple of missed breaks on his card. Those times at like Monmore, I know it's not running at Monmore, but the times at Monmore aren't like that stupidly fast.
I think you could miss it's one of these dogs where you could miss his break and you're standing at terraces, you miss his break and you think he's beat, and then looking up, you just see the white jacket go around 3 lengths in front, and you think to yourself, wow, you've missed your break and you've showed that much pace. I watched this dog last week live, and as you can see, where on the screen there it said Drills will go, after the 4.23 sectional, that's where it is at the bend. So it's obviously second at the first bend, then it's first. It was second at the first bend, and by the time you look up to the TV screen to see where it is halfway down the back, is in front of the second bend. But yeah, no, I think this dog's very, very impressive. I think it's up there for the Derby betting as well. 7 wins from 11, I thought says it all to me really. But 4-11, you ain't going to get rich, but I think it'd be a winner.
Nice. Well, fair enough. That's the thing. He's going to be short, isn't he? So this would be the type of one where I'd happily let him go and win at that shorter price. Just because, like I said, I think he has got a miss start in him. I think he will be chopping to the rails. Even like the one dog sprint times aren't that bad, are they? Like just dipping under 16 seconds isn't terribly slow, but obviously they haven't got the full pace of him. If he gets a clean round, he wins, doesn't he? But I don't know. I think there's better bets on the card. But unless he was 4-6, Bill, then he would be the best bet on the card, wouldn't he? We'll see, and it'll be interesting.
If he's 4-6, then yeah, you will see. You might even see me bet it at 4-6.
And I'll say this as well for anyone that does watch it and like a little bit of insight towards it, not to crab the on-course bookies because obviously they're there to lay a bet. Sometimes you will get a bit of a price, but sometimes these real short ones, they might not be as short on the exchanges. They tend to bet close to 100%. A few people with a dog like this that is early pace might miss his break. For some reason, they like to try and lay him, didn't they? It was like banning a bowl of egg, wasn't it? Because he's all early pace. People, for some reason, like to try and get those dogs beat. So make sure you're watching what's happening on the exchanges as well, because you might get a price there. Anyway, third race. I touched on that last race where the one dog had got some sprint sectionals just under 16. It's probably not open standard, is it, really? It's probably D1 when you're just dipping under 16. The good dogs, like the real good dogs, will be doing under 15.50 there, wouldn't they? I don't see anything in this race that, I don't want to be rude to him, but I don't see anything in this race that jumped out to me as this is a proper open race sprinter. Even Carefree Chief, that I was the one that I sort of came down on in the end, his couple of runs at Notts. The one time he got clear, he did 18.07, but I would expect a dog at Notts to be breaking 18. But I think he probably could be good enough in here. Carefree Chief, what do you make of it?
Very interesting race. Ian Reynolds doesn't come to Towcester a lot, and he's obviously bought two runners here for the sprint. I'm going to ignore both of them really, only because they've not been around the track for a while. I'll probably go with Penny's Octo in 5 for John Mullins. Knows the track inside out. Hasn't been running well of late. Taking that, she only got beat a length and a half last week behind Crossfield Jamie. But yeah, going from different tracks, Pelor, Nottingham, Doncaster for track 4, and then Careful Chief, as you just said, Monmore, Perry Bar, Doncaster, Nottingham. I don't like that. Dogs could miss their break. So I think if they both miss their break, I think Penny's Octo turned quite handy, and you wouldn't want that to turn on your arse in the first thing because he has got some serious pace. So I had it joint favourite really. Obviously, I made 3 clear favourite only on its runs at the other tracks. 16:31 trial at Perry Bar, and then 15:30 at Monmore, which was quite impressive. 28-1 there. But yeah, no, I made 3 favourite, 2-1, and then I made the second favourite joint between 4 and 5, 5-2. But yeah, I'll take a chance there with track 5, Penny's Octo.
Nice, I like it. And it's one of these things with the graded race, or not the graded races, but with like the open races, sorry. Obviously, we've got the seedings in there, obviously the letters next to the names. The ones that don't have the letters are railers. Oak Tree Rover, for me, I mean, if him and Flitwick Real were the other way around, I reckon we get a cleaner run to the first bend, but I don't know, I could see him doing bits. It's good the sprint races though, isn't it? Because obviously if you trap, there's still enough distance to the bend that you can show enough early pace to get round in front. I'd still stick with Carefree Chief, I think, in 3, but I would want a bit of a price to bet him. So hopefully he's 3-1+ on the machine. But again, there's better bets coming up, Bill. And I don't know if we will get a price this one. I'd be interested to know your tissue, but this is a race that's got some proper dogs. You've already touched on a dog earlier that could be one touted for a derby. Miracle for Patrick Janssens. You talk about the man being in form. Christ, this dog's been running incredibly well at Towcester the last three weeks, or maybe 3 weeks. But Slick Sabot on the inside, the two of them they've both been flying, haven't they? They're different when you look at this, right? Because obviously we've got the times that are written down. If you're just a numbers-based person, you look at the 4-dog doing these 29:10, 29:14, 29:19s, and then you look at Slick Sabot, 29:53, 29:27, 29:46. It's 0.8 is a length in it. So you're looking at this and saying that the 2 dogs got within 1 length of the 4-dog, and that's on the 2's best run, and that's on the 4-dog's worst run. So is there any way, Bill, that the 4-dog gets beat?
I think it does with the other runner. This is a fantastic race, and to put a Div 2 on like this, if you look at, obviously we'll look at the Div 1 a bit later on, race 6, but this quite could have easily been a Div 1 race. When you say Div 1, Div 2, there's all different divisions of a race. Obviously, 1 would be the best, 2 would be the second best, and obviously 3rd and 4th. But no, I think Slick Sabot he's got his trapping boots on of late. Obviously, yeah, he won at 7 on 4-1, as you can see there. But 1's a Snell, personally. 3's a Snell, so there's going to be 2 and 4 going up head and head. I just think because 2's got the inside up on 4, I think 2 will win. I made 11-10 joint favourites. If anything, 4 was a slightly favourite over 2. But I think the others are out in the washing. I think Troopers by Mile, I made that 12, made Butler 12, and I made U2 14. So I think this is an absolute match race, 2 and 4. Now I said that, they'll probably be 5th and 6th. But no, I think this is a complete match. Like I say, I think 2 has got the inside. It was bought to be a decent dog. I won't say how much it was bought for, in case Keith Allsop's listening. He told me to say, but it was bought for a fair amount, put it that way, over 25 grand. And I think the dog's really coming into his shape now. Obviously, they've already bet him for the derby, because obviously if he does go off and do these flashy runs, the price will just go for the derby. So I know them boys are on for the derby. Obviously, Keith has already won the derby with Pat Janssen with Form Falcon. So he'll be going to look to win it for a double. So yeah, no, I really like this dog, Slick Sabot. Like I said, he was bought out of Nottingham competition after he won that. He went straight across to Patrick Janssens after. Was a little bit unlucky at Monmore, didn't really find his feet there. But then yeah, he's come back 29.46, 29.53, then 29.27. So yeah, I'm expecting a good run from Slick Sabot on Sunday, to be fair.
Oh, nice. Maybe on this one, Bill, we'll be seeing each other on the Sunday. Maybe we'll get together and we'll just have a match bet on this one. Because I touched on these as well, like the fact that I mentioned the 2 of them. They went against each other, didn't they? I think when that Miracle was called something different, Druids after, normally they say the name changed, didn't they? But it's a little while back. Miracle led it up over 480 at Monmore. Slick Sabot picked it up there. So you'd think the longer 500 metres at Towcester wouldn't be able to pick it up, but I can't get out of my head the times. My only worry is
for a race like this, For a race like this, like I said, we're going on betting match bets for last, but for this sort of race, you just want to watch them. You just want to go and stand and watch them because you'll be distraught. Like I said, if 2 and 4 don't trap out and make the race, then forget it. But if 2 and 4 go up head and head here, then it'd be a fantastic race. And to see these 2 class animals for Patrick going down the back, neck and neck, that's what the game's all about.
Absolutely. Proper race, isn't it? But it will be full of opinions. These are the type of ones there where it is. It's probably a coin flip between the 2 of them. Like I say, I'm on the side of Miracle, to be fair. We'll see what the price are. Again, it's one of these that you know, even if you got stuck into one of these 2, you're a bit mad to do that. And you're just doing it for an ego more than anything, just to prove that you were right. Because you genuinely don't know. Like I say, I'm still drawn by the timey stuff. Miracles as impressed me, to be fair. But the Slick Sabot, they're like can easily come out the boxes quicker as well, couldn't he? That last one was decent considering he wasn't that quick out the traps. I know it doesn't say.
Oh yeah, 4:14, and then obviously a 4:30, and like I said, he still won. Going back to the other dog we touched on a minute ago, Drew's all going the race before. It was exactly the same, and Sabot was exactly the same. As soon as their paws hit the ground running, that's it, they're gone.
Nice. Well, good race that one is. And I don't want to be rude to the other dogs in there, but I mean, they are just fighting for places. It's a proper one. Now, the 5th race, the Towcester Stayers. We've already had a Stayers race. We've got another one in here. We've had the one dog come out, Brett and Molly, I think it was, right?
Yeah,
that would have been my selection as well in the race, but it changes the complexity of this quite a lot, I think. These are proper dogs, isn't they? So again, for anyone that's watching the races, you'll see the difference in the time between the first race and this. But these are dogs that are, I would say, more traditional in terms of this sort of distance. 6 bends might be a bit too short for a couple of them, but they're smart, track crafty dogs on occasions, aren't they? Some of them might not be so on other occasions. But now Brett and Molly's come out of one. I feel like the obvious one has to be Hacker Carlo because he's probably going to get an easier run around the bends. I Am's the dancer though. I mean, I know she's got like distance to make up with him on a previous run. The only way I think Arms the dancer would be able to beat him is if she got first run on him. And I don't think it's possible that she ever does that. Hacker Carlo probably just wins, doesn't he? But no price now.
Yeah, I believe he just wins. I think he's one of them dogs to quick away. Rails always said I can't really see much else getting to this race. I made it 4 to 5 favourite. Second in was Troy Bellatrix at track 5 for Mark Newbury, the Armour Frader, who done the track record at Central Park last week. But I think Hacker Carlo here, like I said, we've got no track 1 there. Got early pace, stays. Was already 1:07.14 at Crayford. Was a bit unlucky last week, to be fair, behind Capel Rose in the one-off 8:74 race. But I think this is Nathan Hunt's best chance of the winner. Obviously, he's got 2 runners there on Sunday with Troopers by Mile and Hacker Carlo. I just think this dog for Amanda Gill just makes all really, traps out, leads all. And I think they'll be fighting for second between I as a dancer and Troy Bellatrix.
Yeah, it's one of them as well, I think, isn't it? As much as it's like a 6 bend thing and it's over 700 metres, it's a long old way to go. He will probably just lead at the first, and that'll be it, won't it? Would you be worried if he didn't lead at the first? Because he's not. I don't think he's a dog that wants to be coming from behind. Like I talked about track crafty ones, he seems like a bit. I don't know. He's better on the bunny, basically. I think.
The only one that I wouldn't think he'd be able to catch would be the Bitchin' 3. If the Bitchin' 3 went smash, she's got pace on her. And obviously she doesn't win many, but she's always there or thereabouts. If that makes sense. She Loves You. I'm not going to take this the wrong way to connections because I know all of them. Not actually quite sure really what she does. Troy Bellatrix, like I said, track record holder at Central Park last week. Fresh from coming back to fresh coming back to Towcester. So that might come away. But now for me, I think the writing's on the wall. If 2 leads, I think it's game over. If 3 was to lead 2, I think 3 will win. But I think if the others were to lead 4, 5 or 6, I think 2 are back on it.
Christ. What sort of price do you reckon we might get Hacker Carlo? I'm finding this hard one to pitch up now that Brett and Molly's out.
Even money, 10 to 11. Anything over evens, I think it'd be a decent bet. But I can't really, like I said, my tissue was 4 to 5, but I was only just doing it for a bit of fun. If I see 4 to 9, 2 to 5, I won't be surprised.
Yeah, fair enough. But you wouldn't. I personally wouldn't want to be betting him. I don't think I'd want to bet him even money either. To be fair, I'll be one of those idiots that will be sat on Betfair laying him if he's too short. But he won't be. I don't know. It'll be bigger on the machine. Interesting race. He should win it, shouldn't he? I do. I really do like the dog as well. If he leads at the first bend, it's game over in it. So you're literally betting probably even money that he gets to the first bend, which is mad. Not really mad, but anyway, is what it is. Right, 6th race. This is the div one you were talking about. Edwards, the last couple of weeks, right, is it's difficult to get like too hyped up about like certain like types of dogs, I guess. But for someone that's only had like the few little spins round Towcester, I think I can't remember which order they ran in, but I feel like Droopy's Donut went first. But they ran against each other. It was a short head behind Droopy's Donut at Monmore. Droopy's Donut ran on a Sunday as well, won comfortably, and then I think Edwards ran after on the 18th, I think it was. Anyway, the long and the short of it was, like, Edwards does look like a proper dog. The only thing that I think this dog is missing from being top tier in my head is a bit of early pace. Like, I think it traps nicely, but just doesn't have like the fly to the bend that you might expect some of the other ones. Droopy's Donut. No, it was the 11th when Droopy's Donut absolutely shit home, because I think it was when Edwards got beat. But when Droopy's Donut did a 394 sectional, there can't be many dogs built that do that across the 12 months of the year. But obviously you've seen after he's got a bit of early pace to run round. But those 420 sectionals, do you reckon they could see him in trouble like on Sunday?
Long and short of it, Edwards hasn't been out of track 1 for a while. I wouldn't want a dog coming out of track 1 around Towcester.
Agreed.
End of. For me, I think Droopy's Donut, like I said, I think this dog is class. I think this dog could be special. Without putting it straight, I think it's an absolute flying machine. Edwards, all right, 8th from 24. Donut, 5 from 15. Wins. I just think if 5 can trap, which we know it can, if it does a 394, then it's how far it win by. 419, 421 still fast. But if you look at the 4th, never been round from Michelle Brown. Won an open race there back on the 1st of Feb from 3 middle. Vinegar Bear, okay, won last week. Led up A2, A3 runner. I think it's a grader. 2's okay. I think they're making the races 2 and 1 doing each other. If 2 and 1 slightly touch each other, come out the boxes, and 5 stay on there, about 5 will just swoop around the first bend and it'll be aye. That's my honest opinion. I think 1 and 2 can cross over, and I think 1 and 2 there will be trouble with 1 and 2, with 1 moving off. And all right, 2's not a rail runner; he's sort of moving off as well. But I think Edwards is moving off as well. So if them 2 can come together, which I think they will do, and 5 does the 419, 420 of what he can do, then you won't see what way it goes. I think it'll be Donut easy.
What if Edwards led him at the first bend? Would you think that Droopy's Donut would pick him up?
If Edward was to lead and get inside the line on Droopy's Donut, then that would be without swearing, a fucking good race. But I just can't see Edwards getting anywhere near Donut if it was to trap, because the early pace of Donut compared to Edwards, not for me.
Yeah, fair enough. What sort of price would you reckon you might make the 2 of them? Because that could tempt me in it. This is another one of those where you're probably better to sit back and enjoy. But what sort of price do you reckon you would make 1 and 5?
I made 5 evens, and I made the top 6 to 4. So yeah, then you got the rag 16s, not been out of orders to the dog, but I just think it's got absolute no chance. Dog in 3. Irons of Sydney, yeah, he has got a chance. And the thing is with Irons of Sydney, if you don't get touched and 1 misses a break and 2 was to lead 1, 2 will be coming home stronger than any of the dogs in the race, because he's, like I said, he got beat last week over 684 at Monmore. Previous week he led all the way and won a 630. So if 2 was to out trap 1 and 5 was to lead, then that would be a good race with 2 turning on track 5 darts. But for me, I just think 5 Donut could, like I said, it's been running so well lately. I got beat last week by Signet Goofy. That's a fantastic dog, as it is Signet Goofy. But yeah, I just think Droopy's Donut could trap out here and just be silly.
Nice. I like it. I did side with Edwards, so I will be potentially
Out
betting
of,
him.
out of the possibly 6 races, that would be my next quickest owner. Out of the 6 open races, and then obviously my next best would be probably 6 above. So I'm thinking Janssen can have a good week. I think Janssen could have a good
well, I mean, the run from Droopy Donut on the 11th was just mental when he came out of the boxes, and he's done that flyer before as well, the 396. It's almost like another first Ben thing. It's good race, isn't it? There's obviously some graded race that comes up after that. I reckon we'll leave that for people to figure out for themselves. We'll obviously be there on the day. If anyone's there at the track, come give us a shout and we'll let you know what we might fancy. But who knows? Maybe some market moves will be more telling them.
It is very competitive, the graded race, and I must admit, like I said, it is very competitive. Like so, you see the A5 there, then we've got the Intertrack between Towcester and Suffolk Downs, and that's quite a good race, really. That Intertrack race 8, very competitive, like what they all are, really. These graded racing put on by Andy Lismore. Then we've got a D2 sprint, and then obviously the A4. That A4 race there. Race 10, track 1 run very well last week, Westfield Frank, and they've kept it in A4. That would be very interesting to see how that goes. Yeah, I was actually quite impressed with that run last week, to be fair. But yeah, no, apart from that, on the graded side, there ain't really nothing that jumps out to me, really. Maybe the last race, the D1. That's quite a decent sprint there, to be fair. Well, I wouldn't say they're the 6 best sprinters at the track, but maybe one of the best D1 races there for a while. Probably go along with 5 Alien Shade. But yeah, no, it's very competitive. We were ashamed. We were disappointed that obviously the races didn't feel, as we touched on earlier, the GBGB awards are on. It's like the FA of the football. They got their awards due. So yeah, it was it was a bit ashamed, really. Well, I was a bit gutted, really, because obviously we've got the show after that you guys are doing. So I wanted to quite a few faces there and a few decent dogs. But that's what they can only put the race on what's there. They can't make up the dogs. Yeah,
and to be fair, we have got some good like dogs in there. At least there's a couple of like good matchups between some of them. They are like. I don't know how confident I can be with a betting heap. Obviously, everything's got a price in it. And as I say, we'll be there on the Sunday anyway. Anyone that's there that wants to know if I'm actually betting stuff or whatever it is, then give us a shout. I'm buzzing about it, Bill. Thank you for taking the time to look at this stuff, though. I know, obviously, we've not done the greatest stuff, but again, anyone that's there will give you our views when we get to that. It takes a little bit longer to look at that stuff, I guess. But the open racing does look good. Hopefully, we'll see a few of you there on the Sunday. I think the last race is 6:26 on here now, isn't it, the new card? So we'll get the preview going as quick as we can after that. But fuck it, should be good. Football's on as well, isn't it?
Yeah, the football will be on. And if anyone wants to see the dogs or meet the dogs, feel free to give me a shout, or one of the other guys that are there, or yourself, Dave. Obviously, people know you than me. If anyone wants to see the dogs, then feel free. I'll take you around to the paddock after one of the races, or even before the races, so you can watch them come out and get ready and blah blah blah. And that way, it gives you more of a detail than how they're looked after.
Yeah, awesome, mate. Really appreciate that. Well, looking forward to seeing you on Sunday. We'll keep in touch before then anyway, but I'll probably give you 1 day's peace because I've been hounding you every single day for the last short while. But again, Bill, thank you for taking the time to do this, mate.
No worries.
Don't need to say it to anybody that's already watched this because it'll be there. But for you, I've already said it anyway, but it's sat there anyway, like pre-recorded. People can go and watch it. They've got the choice if they want to see our thoughts. If they don't want to see it, then we've done it anyway, haven't we? Right, let's hopefully win a few quid on Sunday. If you do your bollocks on the dogs on Sunday, which obviously gamble responsibly, don't do that. We'll get it all back on the Cheltenham Festival preview, mate. We've got 28 winners, 26 we've guaranteed. 2 of the races are a little bit blots, but 26 winners of the 28 we're guaranteeing you. No worries about that.